Good morning.
Morning, Santiago. How are you today?
Very well, and you?
Good. Working hard. Have a lot of work. This week
In the
it's
in the
a little
university
busy
or in your job?
in my job. At the university, yes, I have a lot of works too, and I attending another course from my job. The this course is called airworthiness.
What's the
Do you
meaning?
know that
Air?
word? Airworthiness.
Can you spell it?
Airworthiness. It's a long word. Let me
Yeah.
Airworthiness. I'm going to show you
Awareness.
better. Yeah, airworthiness.
But what's the meaning of
Okay.
that?
Aeronavegabilidad.
I ah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Let's
all.
understand when you
Airworthiness.
spell it.
Yes. That's I finished both of them, the, the pedagogical experience and this course. I will finish the next week, at 30, November 30.
You will
So
finish. Can
yeah,
you
awesome.
can you repeat that because I don't know.
I
I can listen.
finish I finished both courses, the pedagogical experience, those course, these meetings, and the airworthiness course. I finished at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
And
difficult for
all
me.
of this,
It was,
and all of this, it's well your job, while you're working.
yeah. What
So
I
that
what?
it should be hard for you because you're
Yeah.
doing that, you're studying and you're working.
Yes, I
And you feel
attending three
sometimes
things.
that and you feel sometimes that you don't have enough time to relax.
Yeah, yeah. I'm attending the airworthiness course all days, from Monday to Friday, from 4 in the afternoon to 10 in the night at night. So I don't have time in the middle of the week to attend the university, all the other all subjects, because I am
So I get
attending
it.
four subjects in at UNAD. Pedagogical experience too, these classes. The other is didactics of social science, English literature, and project research. So I have to attend those subjects on weekend. So I have to study all the week. But now I'm finishing. We are finishing. So I hope to finish in a good way all these subjects,
Prob-
all this compromise. Yeah. Let's wait for a couple of minutes that Daniela say that in
yeah.
1 minute she's going to join us. And tell me, how was your week, Santiago? How
It's
is your
going
week?
good.
Since it
Yesterday,
hasn't finished.
yesterday I was giving class till like 9 p.m. So I get out from home at 8 a.m. and I was preaching, so all day preaching till 12. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I obviously I get my dinner. No, dinner it's at night. It's like I don't
Like
remember. It's dinner.
what? Night dinner, yeah. Dinner at what time it was that?
Yeah, at 12
Then
p.m. So
okay.
it's
Last night
like
at 12 p.m.
no
or 12?
See?
12 noon, at noon. It was a lunch.
Yeah, the lunch. That's the word that I was searching. I don't remember, but yeah. And I take my lunch, and I relax for a couple minutes, and then I was teaching till the 9 of the night. So when I come home, I was so tired.
Yes, I had lunch at noon. Almorcé al
Oh,
mediodía. I had lunch. Yeah, it's very good. Very good. So I was studying last night, and I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow because tomorrow is the match between Colombia and Peru at 8 o'clock. So I think tomorrow I will ask the teacher that leave us to leave early to see the match. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah. So
maybe.
and
This
I
is
have to.
Colombia, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to see. I don't like play soccer, but I like seeing TV, drinking a beer, and eating popcorn or chips or something like that. I like
It's good.
to share with my family. I like to see football with my daughter. Yeah, she likes
She
to.
likes it too.
What?
She likes it too. She likes to see the
Yeah, she
soccer.
likes to see soccer. Yeah, she likes. We are fan for Millonarios,
Okay.
and we like to go to the El Campín, to the stadium, soccer stadium. We like to go,
Yeah.
but we go often, but when it is a easy match, I think. For example, Millonarios, Jaguares, or but we don't go where is Millonarios Nacional or something like that because it's maybe
You don't want to
it's
see your team losing. Yeah.
yeah, it could be dangerous for us.
I
Yeah.
don't
Are
like
you
the
a fan
Colombian.
of Colombia football, soccer? Don't you like?
No, I don't.
No, I'm not a
I like
fan.
the soccer a lot, but I don't like in Colombian because the teams in Colombian, I don't know, I don't like it. The
Yeah,
way the way
they don't have the
played.
level. Yeah,
Yeah, you saw the English league, for example, the Premier,
yeah,
and the level is
or
high. The way it
yeah.
played, oof.
No,
But in Colombian,
it's simple.
the goalkeeper, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simple. You see a match. Uh, you see a match between, for example, Barcelona and Real Madrid. All the stadium, all the likes, the field. It's
Yeah,
good to see it. But now, for example, Colombia, Tolima, it's field, the grass, it's all dry. No, it's different. It's not good to see. It's not a pleasure. It's not a pleasure to see a game like that. I don't know what happened with
yeah.
Daniela.
Daniela said that.
She couldn't join to the call. Let me see. Daniela.
Hi, good morning. Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see you.
Wait,
Can
I
you
don't
hear
know what's
us?
going on with the
wait.
live. It looks like I am not on the call.
But
Ah,
now
yeah,
I
yeah.
can hear.
I can see
Santiago,
you
are
now.
you listening? I can. Can you see? Can you
Can you
listen
talk?
better?
Can you talk, Daniela?
Yes. Can you listen to me?
Yes,
And yeah,
I
yeah,
can see you.
No.
You look happy. You look happy. Now you are in Barranquilla.
Yes, I'm at home.
Oh,
yeah.
that's very
So
good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Daniela Santiago. Santiago, tell her what were we talking about.
we're talking about what Giovanni did yesterday and what I did yesterday, and that I was working almost all day, and we were talking about that Giovanni is in class almost all the week and all the afternoon. So tomorrow he wants to say the teacher that let him go early for to see the match between Colombia and Peru. And we talk about that I don't like the Colombian soccer, and he say that yes, that he's a fan from Millonarios team with her daughter. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we would like to go to the stadium, to soccer stadium, El Campín, to see some matches, but sometimes we go to see Alianza Petrolera, Millonarios. So it's not hard matches because I was telling Santiago that it could be dangerous for us. For example, Millonarios
Yeah.
America or Millonarios. So no, I prefer go
East
to go to an
America, East America, the
yeah here in
America
Bogota there
known
Millon
as Dragón Rojo.
yeah.
yeah
It's
Okay.
not a
Diablo
it's not
Rojo
a dragon. It's a
yeah
devil.
Red Devil Diablo
Oh,
Rojo
okay.
Dragon Rojo. It sounds like a Chinese
No,
Yeah.
martial arts
these
martial
these
arts
things
team.
they have like nicknames or something, and I was
Yeah,
like, I know I
it's red.
sometimes
It's
I heard
something
that
red.
they something red, yeah. Diablo
Okay,
Rojo.
guys. Yeah, Red
Okay.
Devils. Okay, today we're going to see a simple class. The four parts of our CA test. It's it's the same kind of test. We're going to see a couple videos where you can find some tips how it's going to develop this test, and then we're going to see a rubric and activity guides, a short activity guides in order you to see the requirements, what can you do, some tips, you are going to find um, what parts, what elements are going to be evaluated. Okay, it's not you have. I know you have the skills. It's just as a guide that make a good exercise. All of us. Okay. So I'm going to share with you my screen and okay, no, here. You're going to tell me if you hear. Okay. Can you hear the guy or not?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Hold a second, guys.
But they have the closed caption.
Yeah, if you want, but I would like you to hear it.
But it's not always. It's not loyal
Okay,
every time.
but it's
It's not a
okay.
good guide every time.
Hold a second, please, guys. Oh, okay. Hold a second. Know what's happening with the sound. Let me fix the sound, please, guys.
answering questions. The examiner will ask you to speak about everyday topics, and the questions will be quite simple. So the first tip is to always develop your answer. You don't have a lot of time, so it's important to use your time to demonstrate your English skills. So how should you do this? Give long, full answers. Simple yes or no answers are certainly not enough. Instead, add reasons, details, and examples to everything that you say. Now, let's look at an example of this with a sample question. Imagine you're asked this question. What keeps you motivated to learn English? What would you say? Here's the sample answer. I enjoy learning English because I can speak with my foreign friends. Now, this answer's fine, but it could be better if we add more reasons, examples, and details. Take a look at this. I enjoy learning English because I can speak with my friends. For example, one of my acquaintances.
Please, guys, turn off your microphones, please.
Language we can both understand. I also work in a multinational company, and I need to speak English a lot. You can see that the speaker has developed the point by adding a personal story. This also allows you to use some more impressive vocabulary, such as acquaintances and multinational. Of course, it's important not to just keep speaking and speaking. Your answer needs to have a clear end. But in the exam, you will be given some time. So develop your ideas and make sure you take advantage of your speaking time to say as much as you can. Tip number 2, learn keywords related to everyday topics. In part 1, the questions are about very general topics, just like when you first meet someone. This can make it easier to prepare for part 1, and here's how. It means it's possible for us to make some predictions about what you'll be asked. Common part 1 topics include where you live, leisure time, work, study, future plans, and holiday experiences. Now, it's probably not a good idea to prepare complete phrases because the examiners are trained to look for this. But it is, however, useful to learn a few advanced level keywords around each topic. This way, you'll have a rich vocabulary prepared that you can use naturally. So let's look at an example using the topic leisure time. Imagine you were asked the question, what do you do at the weekend? What would you say? If you're interested in surfing, your answer might be something like this. I usually go surfing. This answer's okay, but it doesn't really demonstrate a lot of advanced English. Now, before the exam, if you do a bit of research, you might then be able to say that you're quite fanatical about surfing, or that it's something that helps you to unwind, or it's an activity in which you can get out and about. Perhaps you're afraid of shark attacks. With a bit of preparation, you'll be in a better place to give a stronger answer. I usually go surfing. This is something I'm really fanatical about. It lets me exercise, unwind, and get out and about. I prefer to surf in isolated locations, though I'm a little afraid of shark attacks these days. Aim to learn 5 or 6 new words for each of the most common topic areas in part 1. You probably won't use all of them, but you might use 1 or 2. 2 high-level words.
What happened?
Yeah, the video is mute.
Okay, hold a second, guys.
And I was listening, and sometimes it get cut, but maybe it's my connection. Surely. But I was understanding a little.
Hello, I'm Jack, and welcome to Online English. In this lesson, you can learn how to improve your score in parts 3 and 4. you say? Here's a sample answer. I enjoy learning English. Last 1 minute. So, my first tip for part 2 is learn how to compare and speculate. Now, this is a key part of this task, and you can and should prepare for it. One aspect of this is using linking words to connect your ideas and sentences. Let's look at how we can do this using these pictures of people reading as an example. The question might be, compare why these people are reading and say how they might be feeling. Let's look at comparing first. For things that are similar, use language like both, each, similarly, or likewise, or even in the same way. We can also see that. For example, this man may be reading for pleasure, and we can also see that she appears to be enjoying herself. Or, similarly, she appears to be enjoying herself. In the same way, she appears to be enjoying herself. Now, for things that are different, use meanwhile, whereas, or even by contrast. On the other hand, for example, the man is reading alone. By contrast, this woman seems to be reading to some children. On the other hand, the woman seems to be reading to some children. Or, meanwhile, the woman seems to be reading to some children. Now, in addition to comparing and contrasting, you need to know how to speculate. You shouldn't just say what you see. You also need to talk about the ideas and possibilities that the picture represents. Some useful structures include might, perhaps, maybe, it seems like. For example, it seems like he's reading something very serious and important. Perhaps she's reading the children a fairy story. You can also use if sentences to speculate what you would do or how you would feel if you were in the situation. If I were her, I'd be very happy. If that were me, I'd fall asleep.
Hold a second, guys. Something went wrong again.
What keeps you motivated to learn English? What would you say? Here's a sample answer. Hello, I'm what you would do or how you would feel if you were in the situation. If I were her, I'd be very happy. With the CAE speaking. Is don't waste time. Firstly, choose your pictures as soon as you can. The best way to do this is to choose 2 pictures that seem very different. You should also begin comparing immediately. Don't waste time telling the examiner which pictures you want to talk about. Next, don't paraphrase or repeat the question. This is one certain way to waste time. And finally, speak for the whole minute. This leads us to our next point. Have a plan in case you don't know what to say. Some students find it helpful to develop a few automatic backup ideas for comparison in case they run out of things to talk about. These are simple ideas that you can use for any picture. This way, if you get stuck and you can't think of anything else to say, you can use these so that you don't just stop talking. These ideas might be about what the people are wearing, or how old they are, or even how many people there are. The people in this picture are all wearing the same clothes. Likewise, these people seem to be all dressed in white. Better still, ask yourself what the people might be thinking, feeling, or doing. These kinds of comparisons are always useful, as they allow for a lot of speculation. This image shows people singing, whereas these people appear to be doing some kind of martial art. The main point is that you have some questions you can ask yourself in any situation. What ideas can you think of? Tip number 6. Don't spend all the time describing. This is probably the most important tip because it's the biggest mistake that candidates make. You don't need to say what you see, and you don't need to describe the pictures at all. Your job is to make comparisons and speculate about the pictures, not to say what the pictures show. If you spend too much time describing, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to demonstrate your abilities to compare and speculate in a longer answer. Okay, so how can you practice and prepare for part 2 of the CAE speaking test? The best thing that you can do is to practice with as many different images as possible. It's always better doing this with a friend or a teacher, but you can also do this alone with a timer. You can even make your own combinations of sample images simply by doing a Google search and picking 2 random images. You could search for people on holiday, or people eating, or groups of people. Then imagine a question, remembering that the typical question format contains 2 parts. 1. Compare the 2 situations. And 2. Speculate on how the people may be feeling or the reasons for their behavior. So we might get something like this. Compare how these people are enjoying their holidays and say how they might be feeling. Now I'm going to give you an example answer, and I want you to try and think of how I could improve this. These people are enjoying their holidays with their family. They are sitting outside with their dogs. There are 2 adults and they're happy. These people are about to get on a plane. They're in a desert. Now, let's stop right there. What's wrong with this answer, and how could it be improved? Can you tell me? Firstly, I'm simply describing the pictures, but we talked about how important it is to compare and contrast. Secondly, I'm not using any language or linking words to do this. What else am I doing wrong? I'm also not speculating. Again, I'm simply describing what I'm looking at. In addition, I'm going way too slow. Let's start again. This image seems to show a family spending the holiday together. In the same way, this might be a couple. However, it doesn't look like they have their children with them. In this picture, the family seems to be at home or at a holiday house, whereas in this picture, these people appear to be at some kind of exotic destination, far away from civilization. There are animals in this photo, whereas there are only people in this one. Both scenes show people having a holiday outdoors. I suppose the key difference is that the people in this image appear to be having a real adventure and are free, whereas the people here are spending time with the family. If it were me, I'd prefer to be going on this kind of holiday, flying around in a plane in a new and wild place. As you can see, I've focused on comparing and contrasting as much as possible, using a variety of language structures. I've also continued to speculate all the way through. These both simple comparisons, like whether there are animals in the photo, as well as more complex ones, speculating that one is a family holiday, whereas the other is an adventure. After this, the big challenge is practicing to do all this in the time limits. That's the end of the lesson. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found it useful. You can see more of our free lessons on our website, oxfordonlineenglish.com. In the video description, you can also see a link to the full version of this lesson. The full lesson includes the text and exercises. See you next time.
Okay, guys. It's not complicated. I think this part, it's I think these two parts are simple, but it's necessary to follow those tips. For example, don't give short answers. And now you have practiced all these sessions with the describing describing some pictures. Now you are experts on that, and that's the intention. The intention of the exercise is not just to describe what is in the screen. Okay, it's to see beyond. Maybe sometimes this guy say to speculating about the feeling or the sensations maybe that the people it's feeling in the pictures. Okay, that's what we or the examiner want to know about you, a description about your screen. In this first part, you can see simple questions like, please tell me how is the place, where do you live? Okay, and I would like to make a little exercise. Let me find about the part two. The part one, I think it's simple because it's are simple questions that it depends on you and your imagination. Okay, but the part two, okay. Would like, please, Santiago, would like to share my screen, and I like you. Okay, Santiago. For example, we are in the test, and I'm going to ask you, please, Santiago, tell me what you see and speculate about what are you watching in pictures. And time is running. Come on, go ahead.
Okay, in these two pictures, there's a lot of people, but there's difference because in the first picture, can you see people maybe in a festival or a carnival, and they seems happy. Are showing things about the community, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe. And in the second one, you can see people running with a ball. So it's different because the people in the second picture looks scared and excited and running for the ball don't hurt them. And there's a big difference here. And the people in the first picture looks colorful clothes, and the second one it's in Spanish. It's in Spain, sorry, and are wearing a white and red clothes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 seconds. Yeah, it's a good description, but remember, we are going to see this rubric. The part two, it's 2-minute conversation. The part two, it's 1 minute to compare two pictures. It's very good. Yeah, that's very good. So
2 minutes.
yeah, it's 1 minute where you describe, to speculate. That's it's basically the intention of this part. Okay, guys.
So okay,
And
but it's 2 minutes between Daniela and me, one and one,
no.
or
Yeah. No.
2 minutes talking
Part,
me myself.
it's
Yeah.
individual. Okay. What
Okay.
are we going to do to first, please, Daniel, I would like to see your description about this. Let me check your time about these two pictures and start now. Daniela, hello.
I'm sorry, my microphone was mute. Okay, so
Okay,
have
start. Hold a second.
okay,
Now.
okay. So in these two pictures, we have people in both of them, but they are different. On the first one is like people celebrating. They look like it's a group on a carnival, and their face looks and their appearance is like Asian people. So I guess they are from Asia, and it's like a carnival. Yes, they are wearing colorful dresses, and on the second one, I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's maybe on Spain or Europe, because this is like a traditional festival. I'm not sure about the name, but I think it's San Fermin or something, which is a festival where they let a ball go out into the streets and people is running. It's also like a carnival, but the expression of the people in the picture is different. They are running, they are like
Time
excited,
is up.
like okay.
Time is up. Time is up. So, guys, eh, it's very good, but remember, Daniela, you made a deep description, but it's important, like this guy said in the video, not describe all the time. Okay, you can describe, yeah, the woman, they look like Asian girl, and so, but so also they are from Mexico. They're Mexico Carnival.
Okay.
But like you say, just say it's not important if you know exactly what's happening. Please, then I recommend you have a huge and a broad vocabulary, but remember not describing all the time. The examiner sometimes they want to know more feelings, what do the sensations, because one thing is describe what they are wearing, the bull, people in white, the colors of the women, that's okay. More or less 30 seconds describing, 30 seconds, like Santiago said, they look scared because the bull is behind us, okay? It's a recommendation, Daniela. But anyway, you have a good vocabulary. You have a good. It's just okay, guys. Please turn off your microphones. We are going to see the part 3 and 4 of the another video. The second video, okay. Okay, let me. Okay.
Donde veas el cielo, puedes tener internet de alta velocidad. Houston, líder mundial de... Hello, I'm Jack, and welcome to Oxford.
Okay, guys.
Hello, I'm Jack, and welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson, you can learn how to improve your score in parts 3 and 4 of the CIE speaking exam. Let's first look at part 3. In part 3, you'll discuss a question based around 5 or more related points. Let's look at a sample question. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these different activities for meeting people and getting fit? You'll have 2 minutes to do this, and you'll talk to the other candidate or candidates. You won't talk to the examiner during part 3. After 2 minutes, the examiner will ask you to make a decision with your partner about the topic you just talked about. For example, the examiner might ask, which of these activities do you think is the most beneficial for young people? You'll have a minute to discuss the question. Towards the end of the minute, you should try to come to a conclusion together. Now, if you can't agree on a decision, then what? It's okay, you won't lose marks. Just finish by summarizing your two different opinions. Let's look at some tips you can use in part 3 of the CAE speaking test. My first tip is to learn conversation fillers. What do you do if you don't know what to say? It's always better to say something rather than nothing, right? Remember, the examiners can't mark you if you're silent. That's why it's a good idea to use conversation fillers. These are phrases you can use to give yourself some extra thinking time. Here are 2 examples. Let me think about that for a moment. That's an interesting question. Now let's do an exercise to practice this. Here are 6 phrases. However, 3 of them are probably more likely to be used as fillers. Can you guess which ones they are? Do you know what I mean? I'd never really thought about that, but I suppose that's exactly how I feel. Let me consider this for a moment. It's quite complicated. Fantastic. Do you mind if I just add something? To be honest, that's not a question I've ever thought about before. Which ones did you guess? Did you guess these ones? Now, don't use these fillers too much. You waste time and it won't sound natural. However, knowing 1 or 2 filler phrases can really help you if you have nothing to say. Tip number 2, focus on depth and detail. To score highly, it's not necessarily to talk about all the points in part 3. It's better to talk about 3 or 4 points in depth. Let's look at the sample question again. What are the advantages and disadvantages of these different activities for meeting people and getting fit? Which activities would you choose to talk about? I'd probably talk about chess, soccer, and hip-hop dancing because they seem like very different activities. But the main thing to remember is to avoid rushing through the points with your partner. Remember, going into depth will let you demonstrate more advanced language. Let's look at 2 sample answers. E-gaming and chess aren't very good for getting fit, but they might be good for meeting people with similar interests. Sports like swimming or soccer are better for people who want to get fit. This answer isn't bad, but the candidate is trying to cover too many things too quickly. This means the answer is simple, and the candidate can't use much advanced or interesting language. Let's look at a better answer. Of course, chess isn't a good way to get fit because it's a sedentary activity. It's exercise for the mind, not for the body. I'm not sure how social chess is, but I guess you could connect with people by talking about tactics and exchanging tips on how to play. By focusing on 1 point, chess, the candidate can go into more detail and use a wider range of language. Focusing on this will help your score, and your score depends on the language you use, not how many points you cover. Tip number 3, use all the time you have. After 2 minutes, the examiner will ask you to reach a decision with your partner. The question might be something like this. Which of these activities would be the most beneficial for young people? When responding to this question, don't try to reach a decision too early. Your goal is to discuss the question with your partner, not answer it. You have 1 minute to discuss your ideas with your partner and try to reach a conclusion. Once you feel that you're near the end of the minute, use a phrase to show your partner that you should finish the discussion. Here are some phrases you could use. So, are we in agreement that soccer is the most beneficial? Alright, it's safe to say that we agree that soccer is the most beneficial. Are we on the same page? But here's one important point to remember. In part 3, it's not necessary that you agree at the end. In fact, disagreeing can give you the opportunity to demonstrate some advanced language and communication skills. So my next tip for part 3 of the CAE speaking exam is learn ways to agree and disagree. Firstly, when you state an opinion, what do you usually say? Here are some examples. I'm of the opinion that. I tend to believe that. I feel as if. For example, I'm of the opinion that sports like soccer are really beneficial for young people because they teach them to work together as a team. Or, I tend to believe that physical activities like swimming or surfing are more beneficial than things like chess or e-gaming. Or, I feel as if the best activity depends on the individual, and it could all be beneficial, but different people will take different things from each activity. Now, if you agree with the other candidate, you could say, I totally agree, or that's a good point, or I tend to agree though. But you may also disagree, and this really gives you the chance to show your good manners. I see what you're saying, but I suppose I would add that. May I also suggest that? Or, I'm with you on that. However, now if you can't come to a conclusion together at the end of part 3, can you think of what you could say? Imagine that your partner believes that soccer is the most beneficial, but you believe that hip-hop dancing is more beneficial. What would you say? It is one possibility. So I guess we're not in agreement as to which activity is the most beneficial. I'd say that soccer is the most beneficial, whereas he is leaning towards hip-hop dancing. The examiners really like to see candidates who interact politely, so practicing a few of these phrases will help you demonstrate this. Tip number 5, ask for your partner's opinion. As you've seen, you need to focus on interacting with your partner in the CIE speaking exam. This is especially important in part 3 because you talk only to your partner during this part. The examiner doesn't take part in the discussion. How can you interact with your partner and make the conversation feel more natural? A good way is to ask your partner for his or her opinion whenever you can. Can you think of some useful phrases to do this? Some examples are, what do you think? Do you know what I mean? How do you feel about that? You could also use a more colloquial phrase like, do you get what I'm saying? What do you reckon? Where do you stand on this? Just make sure that you also spend time giving your opinions too. To get the best scores, you and your partner need to balance your talking time. Don't talk for too long. Bring your partner into the conversation often. Next, let's look at part 4 of the CIE speaking test. In part 4, the examiner asks candidates questions about their opinions about topics related to part 3. If you've been talking about sports and activities in part 3, part 4 would continue on this topic. For example, one question might be, do you think that sport should be compulsory at school? This part lasts for 5 minutes. The examiner will ask you several questions. The examiner asks you the questions, but then you need to interact with your partner. A lot of the advice and language you've seen in this video is also useful for part 4. Using filler phrases, agreeing and disagreeing, and interacting with your partner are still important in part 4, so you can use a lot of the advice you've already seen in this video. However, let's look at some advice that can help you with part 4 specifically. First, always develop your ideas. This is important throughout your CIE speaking test, but it's especially important in part 4. With everything you say, always add reasons, examples, or counterarguments. Let's look at a sample question. Do you think that sport should be compulsory at school? Here's a sample answer. Yes, I think so. It's really important for personal development. This answer's okay. The candidate provided a reason, and that's a great start. But can you think of how to improve it? Let's develop the answer by adding some examples. Can you think of any? For instance, playing sport can help a person to develop leadership skills as well as self-discipline. Many sports also involve teamwork, so you can learn how to get along with others and make friends. You can see that adding a detailed example like this allows the candidate to use more advanced vocabulary like leadership skills or self-discipline. Let's look at another question and see how we can improve it. Do you think that some sports are more suitable at school than others? Here's a possible answer. I think that sports that involve a lot of physical activity are better because they are good for your health. Again, this answer isn't bad. We can improve it by adding more details. Adolescence is a time when the body is changing rapidly. By getting exercise when you're young, you set yourself up for better health later in life. What do you think? Again, adding details makes the answer more interesting and it also allows you to use a wider range of language. Also, notice how the candidate invites the opinion of his partner by asking, "What do you think?" This makes the answer even stronger. Let's look at one more sample question, but this time we'll try to add a counter-argument. Some people say that to be healthy on the inside, you need to start from the outside. What's your opinion on this? Here's a sample answer. For sure, I think that it's important to be physically healthy as it affects the way you feel. This answer is too short. Can you think of a counter argument to add? Of course, it works the other way too. In my opinion, being happy and satisfied with your life can affect your physical health too. Being stressed for a long time can make a person
Sorry, guys, sorry.
Adding counter-arguments allows you to use linking words and discourse markers like "of course" or "of course," in my opinion. Finally, remember that you're also interacting with your partner. Don't just develop your own answers. Build on what your partner says too. You can do this in the same way. Comment on your partner's answers and add your own details, suggestions, counter-arguments, just like we did here. Let's look at one more general tip which can help you, especially during part 4. Get informed. Some people are already good at expressing their opinions, but some of us don't feel confident doing this, especially in a second language. When you take a speaking exam like the CAE, it's not just about English. It's about your ideas and opinions and how well you can communicate them to others. This is a more general tip, but reading widely, keeping up with the news, and thinking about current affairs can help you in your CAE speaking exam. Read news and opinion articles on news sites such as the BBC or Al Jazeera. Of course, it's better to read in English, but you could also read in your own language. The goal is to expose yourself to as many different opinions as possible. The good news is, even if you don't have a lot of time until your exam, you can give yourself an advantage by reading current affairs and starting to think about what your opinions are. When you read, think about what you're reading and try to form your own opinions. This way, you'll be able to talk about a wide range of topics and you'll have more interesting ideas and opinions that you can use in your CAE speaking test. Let's review what we've covered today. To improve your score on parts 3 and 4 of the CAE speaking exam, these are my top tips. 1. Learn conversation fillers. 2. Focus on depth and detail. 3. Make sure you use all the time. 4. Learn how to agree and disagree. 5. Bring your partner into the conversation by asking for his or her opinion. 6. Always develop your ideas. 7. Read widely to expose yourself to different opinions and ideas. But I have one more very important tip for you, and that's to practice. Practice with a friend, with your teacher, or in class. Really use these opportunities to practice agreeing, disagreeing, or using fillers like the ones we learned today. If you have a friend who is also preparing for the CAE speaking exam, try to think of your own part 3 and 4 questions, or find some online, and just practice them together. In this lesson, we've talked about a lot of different language structures that you can use. However, practicing with a friend, your teacher, or in class is essential. You can even try to think of your own part 4 type of questions and share them together. So that's the end of the lesson. Thanks very much for watching. See more of our free lessons on our website, oxfordonlineenglish.com. See you next time.
Okay, guys. Like what you saw, like we saw in these 2 videos, it's important to take advantage of the time, to use all the time, and to have to use these fillers, the words that we have to make a better exercise. Okay, so okay, let's practice with the part 3 and 4. Remember, the first part we have 1 minute to 2 minutes. Let me check. Let's check. The first part, 2 minutes. Okay, in the conversation. Let's see the 4 parts. The first part, please. Please turn your microphones off, please, guys. I heard some kind of noise. Okay, guys. The first part are 2 minutes of conversation, okay, where the students will answer some questions. Okay, part 2, remember, 1 minute. Part 3, 2 minutes. In this part, you are going to speak together, to share your ideas about a selected topic. And after that, after these 2 minutes, the examiner is going to ask you about the question, okay? And you have 1 minute to answer, you to agree or disagree about the topic. Remember, you can check your time, please. See if you can. Please use the watch. You can see more or less how many seconds do you have, and you complete in this minute. You complete your answer, the agreement or disagreement. Okay. And in the part 4, you have 5 minutes. 5 minutes where the examiner is going to ask you some questions about your opinion of the topic of in the part 3. Okay. Okay. I'm going to share. Oh, okay, guys. I recommend for my test, like we are doing this exercise online on Skype. The examiner is going to show you on screen the topic. You need to see it for 15 seconds. I recommend write all the parts or take a picture, because the examiner needs to see you. So he's going to he's going to finish the sharing screen, and you are not going to see the topic anymore. So it's important you to take picture, or if you have a good memory, just memorize the topic and the parts of these questions. For example, in the part 4, I have here an example. Okay. I would like to sum. I have. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, we are going to practice part 3 and 4, okay? Remember, part 1, how many minutes, Daniela? I can hear you.
Your microphone.
Yeah, the first part is 2 minutes and it's a conversation between us. And the second part is just a question about an opinion and it's personal. It's just 1 minute.
Yeah. Part 3, how many minutes?
I think so. It's 2 minutes, no?
Yeah,
Or
2 minutes, Santiago. Yes, 2 minutes. 2 minutes sharing ideas between you and Daniela, and 1 more minute where I'm going to ask you, and you are
your
going to
opinion.
answer me a question, and you are to be agree or disagree. It's simple. And the four part, it's our 5 minutes where I'm going to ask you some questions about part. It's a free time. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Let's practice part 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. I'm going to show you the screen, the topic, and you are going to give me your. And we're going to start the exercise. Okay, guys. Okay, guys, this is the topic. Okay, guys. Okay, 20 seconds,
Wait.
20 seconds. Take a picture, take note. I'm going to let you another 10 seconds. Okay. And finish. Okay, guys. Please start, Daniela.
Okay, so what's people's favorite means of transportation? I think depending on the kind of trip that you're making or you're thinking of. If it's like a long distance, people would love to take a plane or a train, and that would make it easier for them so they can get longer and faster than taking a car. What do you think, Santiago?
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you because it depends on what kind of travel you will do. Because if you will go to Europe and it's a closer distance, you won't gonna get a plane and things like that. Same. I'm totally agree because, for example, it's usual when you're going to travel closer. For example, a closer city, you can get a bus and things like that. I'm completely agree with you.
Okay. So, and the last thing was talking about long trips, but if we talk about short trips, it would be car or bus. And I think more people would take car because it's like more personal and you can stop by every time you want. So you would appreciate like the environment and everything. You can get in touch with the people during the trip than they would rather take car than take buses because when you get in a bus they have this one way and they don't stop where you want, they just stop where the itinerary orders to stop. And that's my opinion, and I would like to know, what do you think?
I think so. I like it. And for example, I think that I would like to get in a train. I
Okay,
would like to
guys.
get in.
2 minutes. Okay, let's in the text I am going to. Okay, guys. Sorry. What happened here? Okay. It was very good. I like the Daniela trying to connect. What do you think? That's That's good word to connect, to include Santiago, to bring back Santiago to the conversation. It's good. You were fluency, yeah. It's I like that. And now I'm going to ask you, uh, what do you think is the safer medium of transport, transport media? Okay, start Santiago. Safe, the best, the safe.
Well, I think the best way, the safe way to travel, it's say the status, it's the plane because the people that die in a flight in a plane, it a small quantity because in train the people die easily, but it's not usual. That's what the studios says. But I think that maybe it's the plane, but I'm agreed the train will be safe because the trouble is defined with a I don't know how to say real vías
Trail, I think.
trail. Are you sure?
No, I'm
Okay,
not sure, but I think it's trail.
okay, okay. And then I
Okay,
would like
Santiago,
to.
time is up. Time is up.
Okay,
Recommend, remember, in this limit, this time, in this minute, this is a fast exercise. For the reason, it's important you are connected each other. 1 minute. What is the
okay.
safest media of transportation? So it's important. Yeah, I think that it will be the plane because it doesn't have. And Daniela, what do you think? Try to use 30 seconds and give Daniela the other 30 seconds to agree or disagree about your opinion. Okay, and that's all. Don't
Oh,
try
okay.
to.
I think we understood something totally different because I understood that it was 1 minute each
The
one.
safe.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. 1 minute to compare. No. The part three. 2 minutes after that for a holiday. And this will last for 1 minute in order to get a conclusion. Oh, sorry. Maybe I didn't explain good. It's 1 minute to get a conclusion. So, okay, it's 2 minutes. Let's remember. Part one. I'm going to share with you the activity guide. Okay.
Yeah.
With this, we are going to talk the same language.
I don't know.
Okay.
For me, it's hard to get organized my ideas quickly.
No, it's okay. No, that's the intention. That's what the exercise wants. Okay, guys, let's see. Part one, 2 minutes. Okay, conversation with the student will answer some questions about activity guide. It doesn't have we don't have problem in these two parts
Wait.
because it's individual. It's individual. You tell me the first that we are going to present the test next Tuesday. Okay. The first guy, the first one of you that uh, attend the test is going to be alone. The second one is going to be with us. But I need the first guy when for example, Santiago came first to the class. Okay, or if you want, you can I don't know, you can say who is the first, who wants to be the first. For example, Santiago tell me on Tuesday I'm going to be at 10, and Daniela is going to be at 10:05 or 10:10. So the first interview, I'm going to ask Santiago questions, they're describing the pictures. Then Daniela, Santiago, you can stay in the video, in the meeting, but I recommend to be your microphone off when I'm asking the first Daniela, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Then the part three, because it's important to make just a one video, okay? Then I'm going to ask you the part three. in this part. So we are going to have 2 minutes, like you did, a conversation, and then we're going to have 1 minute to get a conclusion. This is fast, okay, guys. And the last one, it's 5 minutes where I'm going to ask you some questions about part three. For example, Santiago, do you like to Santiago and Daniela? Because it's the same question for both of you, okay? Uh, Guys, do you like
So
to
in the
travel?
part 4 and 5, we can talk without.
Yeah, yeah, you can share, you can answer what I'm sharing.
Okay.
Santiago, Daniela, do you like to, for example, do you like to travel by plane? Yeah, yeah, I like you speak. Or what do you think is the worst medium of transportation? Or why don't people use bus in these days or currently? Oh, okay. Okay, it's gonna be another different topic, but it's an example. Okay, guys? Remember, I'm going to give you in the chat in Skype, in on WhatsApp. I'm going to send you these activity guides. Activity
Okay.
guides.
Yeah.
Here you can find some of the tips to make a good exercise. So remember, please, Daniela, the parts of the time of the parts of the CISP test. Tell me the times.
Okay. So of every part, hi,
What-
hello.
Hello, hello. All the parts,
Yeah.
please. The times of all the parts.
Okay, in part one is 2 minutes conversation. The part two is 1 minute. And on part three is 2 minutes. And part four is 5 minutes.
Yeah. Remember the part three. The first 2 minutes is to share ideas between you, and the other one to get a conclusion, if you agree or disagree. Okay. But try to share. Don't when the sharing part, try to include to bring the other guy to the conversation. Okay, guys.
So it's
Let me
1 minute
share.
to debate and 1 minute
Get
to conclusion.
this one. Yeah, 1 minute. 30 seconds each one of you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, if you last a little bit longer, I'm not going to stop you in the test. No, but try to use the right
Time.
time, because anyway, it's a test. You're free to talk anyway, because it's a test. You it, I'm not going to do that to stop you. Okay, but just check the time, please, guys. Here are the recommendations, the keywords, the reference, the videos if you want to see them again, or if you want to see another videos. And here we are going to see the rubric. You can see the rubric, grammar,
You
pronunciation,
will leave that in
answers.
WhatsApp. Yes.
Yeah. I'll let you this information.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important you to read it. The final score, I don't know. Teacher told us that it was the grade of this test is going to be 20 points or 60. In the rubric said in my rubric said 60, but the teacher said 20. So it depends. The grade will be we'll check later. It depends the quantity of points they are gonna give me to check. But okay, guys. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for stay here with me in this part in this exercise. I hope you have enjoyed that. And please check the information. It's not too difficult. It's just check the time. But don't feel stressed, Santiago, for the time to organize. They are going to be simple questions. I'm not going to ask you about the energy of the nothing about the difficult topics.
Okay.
It's gonna be some simples because what I want to know is your development. They use a wide range of words, and that's all. Okay, guys.
Okay.
Do you want to say something, Santiago?
I don't know. Thank you. Too much.
Okay,
Okay.
Daniela.
No, okay.
Okay. During the exam, I'm going to, for example, Daniela. He's going to be the first. Daniela, Santiago.
Santiago.
Okay,
Daniela.
Santiago. First lady,
Why?
ladies
Why?
first.
No.
Ladies first.
Okay.
Okay, that is not doesn't matter. Or both of you can stay in the same video. Okay, we are going to be
It's okay.
the taste, the three of us. Okay, I'm going to wait you, but I just when I start with, for example, with Daniela, I just need just to Santiago to turn off your microphone. That's what I need. Okay, we can be the three of us, and I wanted to tell you something. No, I'm going to give you the information. And Daniela, do you want to tell me something? Anything
No.
else? Something else? No? It's everything all right?
Yeah.
Understood? Okay,
Well, that's
guys.
it.
What?
That everything is said. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. See you on Tuesday. Remember, simple questions, simple exam, simple um, exercises. Okay, guys. See you. So see you next Tuesday.
See
Bye bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.